Hey everybody, it's Lebo with Lebo's Pinball, and here we are on our next pinball project. This one's an EM game from 1972 by Gottlieb. This one is called Wildlife. There's actually, this is a two-player version. There's also another game called Jungle, I think, and I think it's the four-player version of this. And then according to the Internet Pinball Database, there's also a couple single-player add-a-ball games, I guess. I don't know what the difference is between the two because I haven't really looked any of this up yet. But I think one's called Jungle Life and Jungle King, I think they are. So a bunch of jungle related, all similar games here. And this one has come to me. The owner reached out. It was a friend of a friend. Found out that I'd tinkered around with some of these pinball machines, one of these crazy guys that does this. And he had picked this up a few years ago, and he said it worked very briefly, and then it didn't. And he had a relative in his family take a quick look at it and said, hey, it looks like I think one of the scoring units has got a broken spring, and then started looking at it, and that's as far as it got. So I'm gonna take it from there. We're gonna dive in, and the main objective is just get this game working. Beyond that, not only just functionally working, we're going to kind of go through other few things. We're going to clean everything up here on the play field. It's not going to get like this mega job, but being that it's back here in the shop area where I can really focus, we'll do stuff like, and I've got the glass still on here, but we're going to try to get a lot of this dirt out of the play field, scrub it down some. Obviously, you can see stuff like this rubber here that's snapped. It's going to get all new rubbers. We'll put in, we'll probably put in the Titan silicone bands. Along the way, when we pull the plastics off doing this, I'll flatten them out with my little oven trick. The other thing that we may do, this is sort of stage 2, depending on how things go, just kind of high level plans. We may switch out all the bulbs, switch them out to the warm LEDs, kind of like like the bullet bulbs is kind of a favorite, or at least kind of one of my current favorites here from Comet. So that's a maybe, but there'll be some other little things like, little stuff like this pop bumper happening. You see some of the numbers are faded out. That's cheap. We'll swap that out. We'll get new cards put in. The shooter here, this is all kind of rusty and nasty. We'll address that, and just kind of go over everything and make sure it's working. And the goal here is also to have this thing done by Christmas for this year. This is 2024, so we want to have this thing ready so that the family can play it and enjoy it. So hang tight, and here we go. So one of the first things that I've noticed on this game, and notice it when we went to go pick it up, this game, the glass is super hard to get off. I'm sitting here pulling on it. I'm going to put a suction cup on here probably to grab it and to really give it a good pull so that we don't break it. But just this little bit that I've been getting it to move is just doing like what I'm doing here just to pull it. It should not be that tight. And, like looking down through here, I don't see anything like, like bent rails. In fact, these rails look really pretty nice. They're in good shape really already. Same way on the other side, it's not bent up. So I don't see it like it's pinching there. So most likely what it is just just super dirty. Somebody's probably spilt stuff down in there, maybe. I hope not. It could be really nasty on the inside. But more than likely, we just clean them real good. And then that should probably solve the problem just to get the glass roll come in and out. But I'm going to go ahead and get a suction cup on here and just work my way to try to get this glass off. Either that or I'll just keep pulling. I think I'm getting there, getting closer. All right, so I got the glass off, and it just felt like it was kind of thick. So I've gone over to my pile. I've got some other glass here that some of it's pull-offs of all the games that were scratched up a little bit, and some of them I've got some new sheets here too. But I'm just kind of out of comparison. So this one reads, call it, 189 thousandths, something like that, of an inch. Go to another one here. Let's see, this one's reading, sorry, it was in a little bit of a tough spot. Kind of hard to do here one-handed. This one's 184 there, you know, somewhere, you know, between, you know, 0.18, 0.19 inches. Now, let's go back over to the sheet that we just took off of this Wildlife. Like I said, you know, it felt like it was thick. All the edges are nice and rolled. It's actually, it just feels like it's a decent piece of glass. However, look at this. It's 22 thousandths. So this glass here is a good like 30 thousandths or so, maybe almost 40 thousandths thicker than the other standard glass that I pulled off. So that is probably the main reason why it was so hard to get that off. You know, just peeking down in the channel, just taking a quick glance, it's not like it really looks dirty. So that's good news. But I'd say we are going to be replacing that glass with putting a proper piece on there. So at least that's one mystery solved. All right, so let's fire up the game and just see what happens. Get down here and turn on the power. We got some lights. Nothing on the play field, but let's go ahead and hit the start button. All right. Well, as you can hear, the scoring motor just keeps going and going. Over here, this is the bonus unit. It keeps trying to set whatever it's doing. Oh boy. So come over here and take this whole bank and force a reset. That kills the noise at least. So the game is trying to do a whole reset. This is what happens when you've got stuff like the scoring reels, the whole bonus unit, other stuff that is trying to reset itself just to get the game ready to, you know, start on, you know, ball one, play your number one. It will keep doing stuff like this, you know, running the scoring motor until all that is satisfied and you got all the zeros out, and then it will stop that. So we're gonna have to dig in pretty deep to figure out what's going on. It could be a score reel, but you know what? These are all sitting at 0 and they stop there. I don't think that's gonna be it. But folks, we're gonna have to dig in deep. We'll see what we find. All right, so I took a look at this whole bonus unit, try to see if I could see a switch that it would be causing this. And looking back here on this one, I cleaned them and gapped them and everything looks right. Unless I've overlooked something, I think that is correct. Also, all of these relays through here, it's like we've got A, B, C, G, and J. And I cleaned and gapped all of those. But even still, none of them, you know, looking at the schematic, seem really that they're actually relevant at all. But they've been addressed while I was looking at them. Getting to the back box. So let's looking at these scoring units. These could still be related because this is all real part of the whole reset procedure. But my first look at all of them, they looked like they were fine. I may have to go back and revisit them. I did go down to all these relays here, pulled every single one out, and you know, cleaned and gapped them all. Again, not really relevant, I don't think, but they got clean. So what's next after that, what I haven't done is actually go down through all of the relays down here in the cabinet. So I'm going to pull this board out and just kind of go through every single one of them, and then see if I see anything, and then we'll put it back and try it out. All right, so I'm going through all of these relays here, just on this, I guess you call it a motor board or a circuit board. I don't even know, this whole panel, the circuit panel. Just figured I'd kind of show you just in general what I like to do, just if I'm just generally going over all of the coils and switches and not any one in particular, which I know it seems kind of stupid. I mean, you're like, well, you know, the symptoms that I'm having, shouldn't I just try to find the, you know, the related coils or relays, and the switches associated with that? But honestly, I'm having a little hard time because what I have checked what I thought would have been related to it so far didn't seem like it was an issue. But I just figured I'd kind of show you at least how to go about working on some of these, at least what I do. So first thing I just showed you, to take these out, a lot of times you'll just have a little, there's a little clip here that you pop out, and then you have to kind of rock it out of the pocket a little bit. It sits, see, it sits down in there. This is the little clevis pin or whatever. Pull that pin out, rock it forward, and then the bottom part of it comes out. So then just kind of give it a once over. Number one, look to see that the wires are all good. I've had some before where, like there was a bad solder joint and the wire popped off. It was something simple like that. Another thing I'll just do is I'll, again, this is just looking for stuff. It's not a for sure, but if you then just checking the coil, I'm just checking the actual resistance across the coil. And I know it's in circuit, it's all still soldered up, so it could be getting, a reading from something else that's altering it. But generally, as I go through this, I'm getting a consistent amount of ohms on all the coils that are of the same windings, the same wire gauge. So anyways, the coil seems, like it's okay. And as far as the motion is concerned, there's a spring here. It seems like it's pivoting fine in it. And most importantly, checking all of the contacts. Are they opening and closing, changing state as the relay changes? And like in this one seems to look perfectly fine. I've also got a little scrubber tool here for cleaning the contacts, and just kind of give it a sort of a light little scrub, not too crazy, but just something to kind of, scrub some of the carbon and whatnot that's on it, and kind of blow it out. And then just get ready to go put it back in and just move along. So I'd already did this one before I started recording it. I've done this whole side, and I started it on this side, so I've still got these to do over here. And also, let's see if I can actually show this without making you guys sick. Oh goodness. All right, yeah, let's just pull back. So the scoring motor, what I'll do there is still just take the little tool and go through each one of them and just scrub the contacts. Also check all the wires as they're connected here to the lugs. Make sure that something's not bent and like shorting out possibly, or that, again, like a loose wire. Other thing I didn't mention is I'll also go through and tighten the screws. The screws that hold the whole switch stack together, sometimes they loosen up a little bit, and that can cause things to just not work right. So anyways, it's just a number of things to kind of keep looking for as you're going through it. So I'm going to keep moving along. All right, so I got the play field back in. I got the, the whole motor board or whatever back installed, and it's no different. Same problem with it, not really starting correctly. So I'm digging in now to this this unit in the back. I'm not sure what it's called because the label that's on it has fallen off. I don't know if this is really a player unit or whatever, but look at this. First thing that I noticed. Okay, that's clearly not good. It probably needs to connect to this bottom part, just because, just looking at the switch right now, the way that it changed states, it's going, if you look at the contacts and what it's actually making and breaking, both of those switches are, this blade, the third one and the first one, are making a change with the second and fourth one, and the second and fourth one are going currently to nothing, except for this wire that probably should have been there. So I'm going to chase it down in the schematic first, just to double check, and then hook it up. I've been studying this schematic, trying to find right where that those set of switches are. Honestly, I've not really quite chased it down, but I feel pretty confident that that's the right spot. And in fact, let's go ahead and turn this thing on. All right, let's go ahead and give it a start and see what happens. Ooh, there it went. Finally reset. Now it went around and around and around and never actually you know, it seemed like it just kept having problems. Let's add another player. See what happens. Yep, that worked. Got the game actually in play. Now, I have disabled all the chimes because I just didn't want to hear it all while I'm doing all this, but no, that's not doing anything. 1,000 points. Probably should have done something. Guessing the 1,000-point relay. Something on that's not working right. On the 1,000-point relay, because you hit that and nothing happens. This is another 1,000-point. Let's see if it happens. Not that one, 500. I heard a click, but 1,001 lit. Of course, I'm not getting any points thrown up there. Another 500. Let's see what happens when I keep rolling that. Oh, look at that. It's not rolling over to the next digit. We got a lot of cleaning up to do on those, every one of those scoring rails. I'm going to pull every one of them out, scrub them down. They're ones that I just haven't really messed with. These I'm going to get their name wrong, but it's like with the decagon or whatever. But anyways, take them apart a little bit more and clean them up. All right, I think I said it wrong. I don't think these are the actual decagons, but we're going to take these screws off here, pull this board off, and then the whole mechanism behind it. We'll take a look at the little fingers on all of them, the board itself, clean that up, and then put it back together. Okay, so I've been making some progress, cleaning gapping switches even more and more, and I think I still got just switches that are just, I think they're just dirty. I mean, and maybe kind of oily. I mean, I've scrubbed them down, you know, with this little, I don't know what you call this, like the diamond-like powder or whatever this gritty strip that you get from Pinball Resource. But it almost kind of feels like it's getting, I don't know, feels like it's almost a little bit oily. I don't know, it could just be me. But some of the switches, I think maybe someone has put oil or something on some of the, you know, the moving parts, and that's just propagated all over contacts. It just feels like some of it is a little bit oily. But I mean, they probably clean it with some rubbing alcohol in addition to just kind of scrubbing them clean. But it's making progress. I've got a game that actually will start now. So this game is up and running, and kind of watch this how it works. So okay, so that was actually pretty good. It actually went from ball 1 to ball 2. It gave it 1,000 points. Let's see what happens here. That was right. But the scoring rails are not working exactly right. Okay, that worked good too. Again, it's like the more I play it, the more it's starting to wake up, which makes me feel that it, you know, the contacts are kind of self-cleaning a little bit. I mean, it will still run into problems. But so far, this has actually been a pretty good example of it working pretty well. I mean, I've got rubbers that are missing. Look at that. Yeah. Why do we have 2 players now all of a sudden? And game over. So it went from like ball 5 into that. So definitely just a lot of bugs in here, but it's definitely getting better. So I can't tell you exactly where it was, because spent quite a bit of time here trying to check switches and gap them. But I know like the scoring rails they're not quite, I mean, I've been checking them, but they're still not right. All right. Thanks for watching.